What's up, guys? Long time no see, right? Excuse the no makeup face. It's my day off of work and I'd rather be like naked. But anyways, so today I'm going to show you like two different methods of how to make like a customized pattern piece. Because I know a lot of cosplays don't have specific pattern pieces already out there, already ready to go. And this is a problem I run into quite often. So I'm going to show you two different methods that was probably the best if you have, well, one, pattern pieces you can't exactly find. Two, if you can't find sizes in your size. So let's start with the first thing you should probably do, no matter what you do. So here I've got all of my supplies that I needed. And I actually got hella good deals between Michael's and Joanne. So let's just set that to the side for now. But not that, and not that. But I've got all that I need for my costume. So this isn't exactly the perfect helmet, but I'm doing Yellow Diamond from Steven Universe. And this is the final product. Now there are a lot of imperfections that I could point out all day long, and I made a huge mistake which caused it to be this bumpy and nasty looking. But you should probably listen to Evil Ted at every step that he does. I did, and then I messed up with acrylic paint, but that's another story for another day. First thing you gotta do is you gotta have your fabric all ready to go. I'm doing Yellow Diamond, so I've got my fabric for the top and the bottom. I got my fabric for the top shirt part, and I got my fabric for like the cape bottom skirt part. And just an additional thing that I'm going to try to do, so I had some extra this, and then I bought one of these for like, how much was it, like $5, to make her signature shoulder pads. And just in case you didn't know what she looks like, here's a few pictures of my mom. Thank you. Because we all know from the 80s that the ones with the largest shoulder pads is obviously the most important person ever. As you can see here, I have everything in great detail on what I want to do and when I want to do it. That was actually confirmed. It's a helmet, not hair, as confirmed by the Crewniverse in some weird way. But anyways, I have the top and the bottom piece of the shirt. This is the pattern piece for the shoulders. This is the pattern piece for the cape skirt thing, which is just going to be dark yellow, and then the same yellow, but like wider and then ruffled at the bottom to give that pointed effect, what have you. And this is just my scribbles of a mad woman trying to figure this out. The first method that you could go about doing this, and it's probably a bit more precise and probably the easiest, would be the first thing you need to do is, and I only do this for the top part because obviously I'm a little meatier than a lot of people, so that would probably be best just to do the top part. First of all, you need to decide what measurements you need. Obviously this is a shirt, so I'm going to need bust, I'm going to need waist, I'm going to need arms, inner and outer, more likely, but I'm more focused on this part right here for right now, and the shoulders will have to just chill out for a second. You pretty much just want to take any measurements that you could possibly think as to not mess this up yourself. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be right back. By the way, if you followed my rose quartz tutorial on how to curl the wig, I just recently got her out a few days ago, and this is what it looks like after it's all done. Don't ask me why I got it out. It's going to be a pain in the butt to put back up. This is what she looks like. Still pretty firm. She's getting a little stretched out because she's so heavy for her own good. So whatever I'm planning to do with her, I need to hurry and do it quickly. Alright, so this is exactly 100% perfect, but maybe you'll understand the gist of it. Okay, so I couldn't think of the names of the specific measurements I needed, so I just drew like a mock-up of a shirt out, right? And then I measured everything that I possibly knew. The neck, the shoulder to bust, the length of it, and then the waist is right here. As to right there. Now, if you're wondering why these are longer than what I normally plan, I have to incorporate shoulder pads, and quite large ones at that. And I calculated 13-inch long ones, so this is the regular shoulder, and then an extra 3 inches to add on, and then I'm going to add on another 3-4 inches to the sleeve, so that it's just one big shoulder piece instead of me having to trick my situation out of here. The first method to going about making a custom pattern piece is to draw it on wrapping paper. Do you have a need to decide what to do with all that leftover wrapping paper from Christmas? Well, let me tell you, buddy, it makes for perfect pattern piece paper. It's lightweight, it rips just about as easy as pattern piece paper, and it's easy to store, so it's all good, and it's big. So you don't even have to like keep taping pieces together. You could just draw it on there and it'll be fine. So as you can see here, I did a giant square first, and then I adjusted to it, and you can see those shoulders are a little bit different because I'm a dummy and I didn't have enough. So I cut out the square, and then I took the excess of my paper and added the extra shoulder bits to it. Those aren't going to be it in its final form, but that's just what I have so far. I drew out the basic shapes that I needed with purple, with actually pretty precise measurements, as you can see by all my stuff everywhere. And then everything that I need to definitely cut, because this is going to be 2 pieces the way I have it. The top part's going to be light yellow, and the bottom part's going to be dark yellow, or vice versa, whatever. The dark parts are where I'm going to have to cut. And obviously, with pattern pieces, you have to cut out a little bit more than what the pattern piece calls for. You know, like maybe an extra 1/2 inch from your piece, because you forget about hemming when you do this kind of thing, and that's kind of a thing you need to remember. Yeah. I need to add a few more adjustments to this, and then I should be ready to go. And that's method 1 with making your own pattern piece. The second method is a little bit easier. Sometimes you're on a real budget, you don't have a lot of these supplies, you don't have the time, maybe you procrastinated a little bit too long and you gotta get it go, you ain't got time to take all these measurements, you just want to get something good and go. The second method, which is a very popular method, it's quick, it's easy, sometimes it's a little iffy, I did it once and it worked out just fine for me, is ta-da! The fitted t-shirt method. So what you do is you just grab a t-shirt that fits you pretty well, that you think is pretty snug, you know, nice and fitted, and you just lay it down carefully on the paper, which I don't have any more paper to deal with because I just did that, but I will show you exactly how to lay it down on a piece of paper. So you can just trace it, adjust to it, have what you do. Now, if you're going to do this method, there is a couple things that you have to keep in mind, okay? So, you have to keep in mind your material. This material right here is, as you can see, stretchy t-shirt-like. This stretches, so you need to absolutely be sure that you have material close to it if you do exact measurements, or by the time you actually lay down flat, you gotta add a couple inches to the shirt because this is stretchy, and if you have cotton like I do, then you're gonna have a bad time if you do not get the right fabric. I cannot stress this enough. Even if you get the exact measurements from your t-shirt and you don't account for what kind of material you have, whether it stretches or whether it's stiff, it's not going to fit. That's just it. Because your shirt, you can think, oh man, that shirt fit pretty good, why is it not? It's like, because it's not stretchy. See, this is stretchy material too. It fits right around the neck, as you can see. And if you cut out a pattern piece that has exact measurements, you're not going to get your head through this hole. So I cannot stress that so much. I always have trouble with that because I never get the hem on the neck right. And so I always stretch my head in, and if I have like something with a lot of makeup on, it gets all over. Please, please be considerate. If you want to do exact measurements and you just got some extra stuff laying around, zippers are your friend. For the neck piece at least. I've got cotton, so I'm going to have to be careful for this top part here. But otherwise, let me get this laid down for you perfectly. I just wanted to give that warning to you because that is the worst feeling in the world, is when you work so hard on getting something so good and then you didn't consider how stretchy the fabric was versus the fabric you got. So keep that in mind, okay? So when you lay down your t-shirt, you're going to want to lay down completely flat as you can. And the way you can see it here is it's not exactly perfect on the paper. And I also added a couple extra inches around my stuff because, like I said, you got to account for how stretchy your shirt is. That is essentially, let me get that. That is essentially how you want your shirt to be laid out. You're going to need your sleeves pulled out like that, because that is how the pattern pieces normally sit, and that's about the closest you can get. So, and you got to remember that that is the back neck, not the front neck. So you need to probably cut the back piece out first, cut your fabric out for that, and then cut a few inches in for the front piece. I know it's really precise, but I'm sure it'll be more complicated if you try to just do two back pieces together. So, if you can see, I got pretty stinking close with just taking measurements. And like I said, either method works for you. It just depends on your time, your fabric, your materials. I'm a bit of a, materials hog. So I've got materials for days. Seriously, I've had crayons since I was like in kindergarten. So I have materials for days. And these are the two methods that most cosplayers use when they have to make their own pattern pieces. Now, I guess I'll try to keep this in mind and as I'm processing this whole costume thing, because it's a lot of work to make a customized costume, and you want it to be perfect, alright? Well, that's it for this episode, or video. I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye!